Hari Om students, very first I welcome you all to class 8th, and you should know in class 8 I'll be taking your science. And before I start anything today, I just want to say take maximum precautions, be at home, wash your hands properly, use sanitizer so that you can prevent yourself from corona. The chapter we are going to start today is microorganisms, and this is very much related with the problem we are facing today, that is corona. In this chapter, we are going to learn the meaning of microbes, the different types of the microbes we have, how are they useful and harmful to us. So, at the end of this chapter, you will be able to differentiate the microbes. So, let's start the class. So, the chapter we have is microorganisms, friend and foe. Here, friend basically means it is useful and foe it is harmful. So overall, the aim of this chapter in class 8 is to understand the meaning of microorganisms or microbes and how are they useful and harmful to us in daily life. So the very first topic is microbes or microorganisms, that is to understand the meaning or definition. So we know one thing, that is on this earth there are lots of living creatures, and most of those creatures we are able to see through naked eye, but there are certain creatures which we cannot see through naked eye, and we need to take the help of microscope which can magnify the image, and with the help of magnification we are able to see those creatures, and those creatures are basically called or given the name microbes or microorganisms. So the definition you can see here, microbes are tiny living things that are found all around us and are too small to be seen by the naked eye, and that is clear to you, I think. And this microbe or these microbes are present almost everywhere. It is within the atmosphere, that is in the air, it is within water, it is in the soil, and even it is present within your body. There are lots of microbes within your body which are helping you also. That we'll discuss later on. And next thing, you should know the meaning of micro. In general, if you take the example 1 micrometer, so 1 micrometer is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 meter, which is very small, 0.0000001 meter. So this is the dimension of micro. So micro basically means 10 to the power minus 6, which is a very small dimension, and that's why we are using this micro in this microorganisms. Okay, so next topic we have is types of microbes. So in general, based on the shape, structure and function or behavior of the microbes, they are placed into different categories, and there are main 5 categories of microbes. And the very first category is called bacteria. We'll discuss about it. Then we have fungus or fungi. Third category we have virus, which is a major problem nowadays, that is corona. We'll discuss about this also. Protozoa, and the last one is algae. So there are 5 major categories, and out of these 5 there are few which are unicellular, there are few which are multicellular, there are few which can be both either multicellular or unicellular. That will discuss one by one. So overall we are going to study the meaning of bacteria and how this bacteria is different from fungus and how fungus is different from others. So at the end of this class today, we will be able to differentiate all the microbes. So the very first microbe we are going to take is bacteria, and singular is bacterium. Bacteria is plural. So you should know bacteria are basically unicellular, that is single-celled microbes. And the meaning of single cell or unicellular is it is made up of one cell, and this one cell is capable to do all the functions to survive. Like in class 7th you have understood the meaning of nutrition in amoeba, and you know one amoeba, one cell is capable to do all the functions. It can take the nutrients, it can grow in size, and even it can reproduce. Same like bacteria is capable to do all the function. And next thing is this bacteria is not having a well defined nucleus. About this we'll discuss in the chapter cell, where we'll talk about even the cell can be of two different types. One cell is having well defined nucleus, and one cell cannot have well defined nucleus or nuclear membrane. So basically bacteria is the cell in which the nucleus is not so well defined. Okay, so it is quite simpler than other microbes that we are going to study. And bacteria are found in almost all the places. It is in the air, it is in the soil, it is in the water, and even it is within your body. And you should know in your body also somehow it is helping you in the process of digestion. And bacteria is also helping in the formation of the curd from the milk. And bacteria is somehow also harmful to us. So there are different bacteria which are useful and harmful, that we will discuss later on. And basically the bacteria are classified into 5 groups according to their shape. So different shapes of the bacteria we have, and accordingly different names are given. That is spherical, rod, spiral, and comma and corkscrew. So spherical, you can see the structure. Rod, which is cylindrical, comma, then we have spiral, which is also called a spirilla, and corkscrew. So you can see how these 5 different types of the bacteria looks different from each other, and different shapes they have, but still they are under the category of bacteria because somehow they have some unique or common functions. Now the next we have fungi or fungus. And fungus or the fungi can be unicellular or can be multicellular, that is both are possible. And they can be found on the land, and that is mainly in the soil or on plant material, and not so common in sea or fresh water. So basically where we have standing water, moisture, we can find it. And different examples of the fungi we have yeast, mold or the bread mold, and mushroom also. So you should know even mushroom which are eatable are under the category of fungus. So mushroom we can say it's one of the microbe which is visible through naked eye. So somewhere some microbes we can see directly. At the very first you can see the shape of yeast, which is unicellular microbe. Mold, the second one, which is multicellular, and you might have seen the bread mold. When the bread is left for many days, then we are able to see thread like structures coming out of the bread, and those structures are nothing but a fungus, that is also called bread mold, and which is multicellular, and mushroom is another fungus which is multicellular. So in class 8 we will be able to see the yeast and bread mold under microscope in the bio lab. So proper structure you can see. So the real yeast and the bread mold will be shown to you in the class, sorry, in the bio lab. Next we have virus, and this is a major problem nowadays, that is coronavirus. And you should know, if you compare the dimension or size of all the microbes, then virus is the smallest one, and that is why it is most harmful. Okay, so you can see here also a microorganism that is smaller than a bacterium. So even it is smaller than a bacteria or a bacterium. And next thing is, in general, virus cannot grow in atmosphere. It cannot reproduce in atmosphere. It needs a living body or living cell in which it can become active and can multiply in number. So in general, this is how virus is different from the other microbes. That is, virus always need a living cell to survive and to multiply. Okay, so you can read here, a virus invades living cells and uses their chemical machinery to keep itself alive and to replicate itself. The meaning is, once the virus enters the living body, then it enters the cells of the body, and then from the cells of the living body it gets the proper nutrients, that is called chemical, and once it gets proper nutrients it becomes active. Active means it starts behaving like living, and then it starts multiplying also. So one virus will become 2, 2 will become 4, and this way the number will increase within the living body. And at the same time the cells of the body will be destroyed, because the nutrients of those cells will be taken by this virus to increase in number. So with the time the cells of the body will be destroyed and this virus will increase, and overall it will affect the body, and that is how the living body is affected by the virus and we get viral infection. So that is how the virus is very complicated and harmful. And there are certain examples of viral illness, like common cold, which is caused by rhinovirus, and AIDS. The AIDS is basically caused by HIV. And the note is given to you, virus is on the borderline between living and non-living. I hope this point is clear. That is, if the virus is there in the atmosphere, it is just like dust particle, means it is not a living one. And once it gets any living body or it enters the living body, it starts behaving like living. So it starts multiplying. Okay, and that is why this microbe is on the borderline between living and non-living. Next we have virus examples of virus. That is, first is polio virus. You might have heard about polio, that is caused by virus only. You can see the shape. Bacteriophage, another virus. You can see the shape, how it looks like. Then we have coronavirus, which is very common nowadays. and how it looks like. So all these are three examples, but there are other examples as well of virus, and almost all the viruses are very harmful to us, and we know how we are facing the problem today's. Next we have protozoa, next category of microorganism, and you should know the protozoa is also unicellular, means it is made up of one cell, and one cell can do all the function, and they can have different shape and size of different shape and size. And take the example amoeba. Amoeba is also under protozoa, which you have understood in class 7th. That is, amoeba can change its shape. It can move from one to other place by changing its shape with the help of false feet, which is also called pseudopodia. So this is one category of protozoa which is able to change the shape, and there is another one, paramecium, which is very fixed, cannot change its shape. So both are under the same microbes, but still they are different from each other. That is how there is variation in protozoa. And mostly they are found in freshwater, marine environments, and the soil. Okay. Certain examples of protozoa: amoeba, the first one, which you have understood briefly in class 7th, and in class 8th, in the chapter reproduction in animals, we will talk about its reproduction process also. And this amoeba will be shown to you, the real one will be shown to you under the microscope in the biolab. So there you can see the proper structure. Second one is paramecium. This will also be shown to you in the biolab, the real one, under the microscope. Plasmodium is one protozoa which is basically responsible for malaria. So the mosquitoes basically carry this plasmodium, and once this plasmodium is injected into the body, then the body is affected and it gets disease called malaria. So plasmodium is just harmful for any living creature. So you should know mosquito is not the one which is the cause of malaria. Mosquito is just the carrier of plasmodium which is responsible for the malaria. Next one we have algae or alga, and algae can exist as single cell or it can be multicellular. So both are possible. The algae can be single cell also, unicellular, or can be multicellular. And most of the algae live in fresh or seawater, and it can be floating on the surface of the water, or it can be within the water at the bottom. Both are possible. Some algae can be on the rocks, soil, or vegetation also, but that is only possible if there is enough moisture. So overall they can be seen under the water, over the water, or anywhere where we have the presence of moisture. And the algae can also exist in partnership. That is, if you remember in class 7th you did symbiotic relationship, where algae and fungus or fungi live each other, which is also called lichen, and they are able to share the food and shelter. The algae is capable to make the food, and fungus is capable to give the shelter to the fungi. So they help each other. So the unique thing about algae is the algae contains chlorophyll. Like in the green plants, we know chlorophyll is there, which is responsible for the process of photosynthesis. That is, the green plants can make their own food. Same like algae contains chlorophyll, and because of it, it is capable to make its own food by the process of photosynthesis. And this is how this microbe is totally different from rest 4 microorganisms. that is, it is under the category of autotroph somewhere. Okay. Next, some examples of algae. Red algae, which is within the water. Green algae, which you basically see on the surface of water. Somewhere in standing water you can see a green layer is formed over the water, and that green layer is nothing but green algae. Okay, so and third one is Sparrowgara, and this Sparrowgara will be shown to you in class 8th only under the microscope in biolab. This topic you did in class 7th also, that is fragmentation in Sparrowgara. So in class 8 you will be able to see how it looks like in real. Okay, so overall the 5 main categories of microbes I think you have understood, and you can differentiate also one from the other. And based on this, 2 questions are given to you. The very first question is, write and explain any 2 major differences between fungi and algae, and I hope you can answer this question now. And question 2 is, virus is different from other microbes, how? So I think you can answer this question also. And in the next coming class, we'll talk about how the microbes are useful and harmful to us, and that will be done separately in different video lectures. That will surely help you to understand the concepts. And one thing I want to say, that is, maintain a proper notes of the video lecture, and any doubts you have, you must write down the doubts, because we will have the live classes also where you can interact with me and can ask the questions related with the topics. So for today it's over. Thank you.